Joro and one of the other two out in Germany. Had a phenomenal tournament there. It really showed what he has done to improve his game moving forward. But it's not about playing with anybody else other than his teammates here, and pinning this against the backboard. Seabass tried to pinch that away, and instead they combine for the most fantastic own goal we've seen all season.
And Memory gets the credit, and it's extremely not surprising because this man accounts for 75% of the goals coming in for Space Station, and who else to score it but Memory.
And of course, coming into this week, leading the league in both Savior medals and MVP medals. It's just something that a lot of us learned when we were starting to play the game. Look, if you just stay back and make a bunch of saves, you score a lot of points. Who knew? Memory gets this one off the backboard. Vince's follow-up is stopped by Seabass. And now Memory again with a follow-up. That's going to be saved away by Illusion. So again, this is what Space Station does. Take shot after shot. They are pressuring the Allegiance defense and not letting them breathe at all on the defensive end. Halcyon, that follow-up, that will find the net as well. And the beatdown continues early on. This first minute has been all Space Station.
And talk about a start for Space Station. They are win and get in at this point, and they are coming out with 2 goals in the first minute. That one coming off the crossbar. Halcyon dropping it in for his team, and Space Station off to a fantastic start in their last game of the rival series.
And they're gonna get a kickoff goal here. Vince able to just kill it right at midfield, and Memory's got the follow-up.
And Memory's already got 2. This man's gotten quite a few hat tricks throughout the series, throughout the rival series, and when he's already got 2 in the first minute, you bet he's probably going to get a hat trick here.
So it'll be Illusion on this kickoff for Allegiance, trying to get on the board. They have been shell-shocked here in the first minute. That'll angle straight down, and Halcyon's got the clear away. Nobody crashing the net for Allegiance. Now Memory, can he follow this up himself? No, he's going to take a crash landing. And quickly onto this as well. It looked like he might have been heading off to the corner, made a quick turn, and just really surprised the Allegiance defense. They can't get anything going even towards midfield. Somebody from Space Station is there to cut them off. Finally, they do clear the zone, but for how long? Illusion's gonna have a look at this, but it's gonna be banged off the back wall, and that's gonna be high from Tyler.
And talk about catching Allegiance off guard. Space Station have come out so fast. Allegiance looks asleep right now. They're not getting involved. They're not getting any of their players involved in plays. They're just trying to stay afloat right now.
Vince able to win the race to that corner boost. That'll be Tyler looking for Illusion, but that pass not nearly strong enough. And back the other way it goes. So Space Station Gaming in this must-win opportunity here. They have made the most of it, at least in game 1. First half has been all Space Station Gaming so far. Vince off the corner, and Memory way back, and I think you can probably expect that now from Space Station Gaming. They know they have this huge advantage. They're not going to overextend and give Allegiance any life, as Vince just rifles one right through, and still before halftime, the lead is 4.
And they won't have to overcommit on anything if shots outside the box like this are going in. Illusion just way too slow. He should have seen that shot coming. Vince able to collect one for himself, and Space Station now up 4-0, and it's almost halftime.
Well, one saving grace for Allegiance here is if Space Station scored 4 goals in the first half, you know it's certainly possible they can answer back with 4 of their own, and this is how you get it started. Just kind of play pepper with the back wall a little bit, make sure they don't clear the zone here. You probably need a goal on this possession, you know, just for the sake of your own sanity at this point, but it's going to be cleared away by Vince. Seabass is lurking in the defensive third for Space Station, but can't really disrupt any plays. And that little miss from Vince will not give them any life. Illusion, he just comes up empty, and Halcyon has the clear. It looked for a moment like they had one lined up. Now they finally get one. It is not too late with 1:49 to go.
Very strange defense from Space Station. Very slow, to be honest. And when the ball finally gets pushed out in front of their goal, everyone from Space Station is moving out so quickly they don't see Tyler. Tyler has a wide open shot on their net, and Allegiance find themselves trying to get back into this game. And Stacks, they have enough time to make this comeback.
But They need the ball on the other side of the field, and that's a good start for Illusion. Unfortunately for him, Memory is right there. Halcyon now, that will head all the way across. It's really one man up and two back for Space Station Gaming. Again, committed to challenging Allegiance. Look, if you can score 4 goals while we are in the defensive shell, congratulations, you've earned it. Seabass and Ty after this. They're gonna find Illusion, but there's Memory up there again. You know, we saw in the first half of the season, he took on a much more offensive presence on this team. He has kind of reverted back to the defensive wall of Space Station Gaming, but it has worked out here as that's going to be blocked away from Halcyon. Seabass will get his Savior medal, but it won't matter because Memory is there. He's got a hat trick.
Hat trick along with a playmaker for Vince. These guys linking up 3 times throughout this game, and Memory, when we talk about Memory, you talk about all the goals he's scored, and I said it before and I'm going to say it again, 75% goal participation for this young man, and I don't know the statistics on this game, but it seems just about that in this one.
Yeah, he is way up there, and in fact, I hate to keep burying Incognito, but it bears repeating. In his match with Incognito earlier on this week, he actually set the rival series record for single game score for a player. It was up around, I think 690 was the final tally. Just a dominant performance there, part of their 6-0 win in that one game. And here, it is just as dominant for Memory in game number 1. He's got a hat trick to go with plenty of scoring opportunities. 8 shots in total for Memory. I mean, this is incredible stuff in a match where you need to get off on the right foot, and they absolutely have.
Yeah, you talk about backs against the wall for Space Station, but luckily they do control their own destiny in this series. They just need to win and get into the top 4, and they're on their way here, winning game number 1 against Allegiance, a team that's already secured top 2. This is huge for Space Station.
Yeah, it's huge for Space Station because if they win, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, they go into that number 3 spot, and they know they are absolutely safe. Meanwhile, 14 shots,
my goodness,
the total tally for Space Station Gaming in game number 1. Boy, it's hard to lose when you're getting that many shots, and I think if you're Allegiance now, you're thinking, well, 14 to 3, not a good margin. What do they need to do to weather the storm here?
Well, first of all, they just cannot give up that many shots. They need to get in front of the ball. I know it sounds so simple, but it's the truth. You saw Vince, he got a shot way outside the box that should have been saved. Nobody was there to contest. You need to play in their face. And definitely don't let Memory get comfortable in a game. When he's got 2 goals in the first minute, you know there's a huge problem. They're Space Station, or he is Space Station's top goal scorer, and you let this man run all over you, unacceptable.
Yeah, when you've got all the stats at this point of the season, I mean, you know who's going to lead the charge for each team. And we were talking about that with Europe earlier today. Don't let their best player beat you. Make somebody else step up. I think on the Space Station team, there are certainly players like Vince that are capable of doing that. But again, you make them do that if you're Allegiance, and they did not there. I mean, Memory had a goal very early on, and they practically handed it to him because it was a comedy of errors at the crossbar.
And I brought up Seabass's name. How many times did we even mention the name Seabass in that game? Maybe one time I heard you say Seabass, just non-existent in this game. So for Allegiance, it's time to wake up. It's not that they need this win, but they don't want to give Space Station a free win into the top 4. They want to make their lives a little bit rough.
Right, especially, you know, make them earn it a little bit. They'll remember that when the time comes to have a rematch. If that time ever comes, Memory's going to get a shot here, and you got to imagine at this level, this one probably should have been saved.
And Memory, again, the man to score first for Space Station, and he has just found the back of the net so many times, even in just this one game. You let him have 8 shots in the first game, and he's already got a goal here in the second. We're only 30 seconds into this one.
4 goals in 5.5 minutes of gameplay. It is turning out to be a career day for Memory in a match, again, that they must win to secure the number 3 spot. It's going to be Illusion to pop this one over, looking for Not Tyler. That's going to go all the way across. This does not look like the same Allegiance team. Until then, it's Illusion getting the equalizer.
And finally, Allegiance getting on the board here in a pass that involves 2 of their players. completely what they wanted to do there, totally intentional. Allegiance find themselves on the board, and they don't let, this is important, is they do not let Space Station start running away with this game. They don't let Memory walk all over Allegiance.
Vince a little late to this challenge on Illusion, but it was just enough because that forced Illusion to make a play. He's given up possession, but only for a moment. Now Illusion to find Ty-Not Tyler. Can't get this one in front, and back the other way it goes as Allegiance look to capitalize on just a little early momentum. Good answer from Memory's goal earlier, but, well, Memory had gone to the ceiling and completely whiffed on the ceiling attempt.
Sometimes it happens, you think you're still on top of the ceiling and you're not. Flips into it, and talking about flipping into it, it's Seabass finding Illusion for the goal here as they capitalize on the mistake from Memory. Seabass just finding Illusion in the top of the box here. Halcyon just not even close to getting to that, and Allegiance find the lead. They're slowly starting to wake up in this series and finally getting a lead in this game.
So 2-1 the advantage for Allegiance after just getting, well, just thoroughly smacked in game number 1. There's no way to sugarcoat what happened in that first game, but it does look like a much different Allegiance team, and I wonder how much of that, Pirelli, would have been just realizing very early on that this game wasn't going to go their way. They have a little more fight here, but Memory's been given another gimme.
What in the world is going on with the defense for Allegiance? You see Illusion bumping out Ty-Not Tyler, and then he's forced to make the save himself. He's not able to, and you give Memory another goal.
Right now, it's Christmas in April for Memory. He's gotten 2 gifts and 5 total goals. I don't think he's really worked particularly hard for either goal here in game 2. Now Illusion gonna have a tough time reading this, but Ty-Not Tyler's there. Needs some help off the backboard after the miss by Memory. He is human, but Vince has his back. Nobody there challenging forward for Allegiance, and you wonder if that was a case of they just assumed that play was going to be made and were more surprised that it wasn't. This shot's on, and it just skips across harmlessly. Ty-Not Tyler, he's found the angle there, and Memory will just softly roll it away.
This is better play from Allegiance. They're making Space Station make saves right now, and they're looking so dangerous in front of the net. They just need that extra effort to put it in right now.
Halcyon or Vince? It's going to be Vince, and he's got plenty of time to work with, but still couldn't make the play. It is a tough read. Big time bump, as Pirelli mentioned, but Memory still makes the save. That is huge for Space Station. Now only Illusion at the back, and he does get the save. More importantly, the clear, as Allegiance and Space Station continue to battle in a 2-2 draw. Now Memory. Ty was there to cut off the backboard play. Memory still finds his way through, and Illusion has to scramble back to make a bicycle kick save. It was really clever stuff there for Memory. He saw that the angle he was looking for was cut off and still managed to get a play on target, and that will kick away. Every time you see that ball pinball around, though, you wonder, is it going to be another lucky bounce for Space Station?
And my goodness, the Allegiance defense is just hanging on by their axles right now. Space Station Gaming is moving the ball around in such a way that they are so confused on defense. They're bumping into each other. There's double commits left and right from Allegiance, and it's sloppy defense from them right now. I would not be surprised if Memory finds his 3rd goal.
Well, they got a chance there. Halcyon got a good centering pass off, but Memory is all the way back. He did not react in time for the save, but the shot was wide off the near side. Now Illusion. He went up to the ceiling, but it's a long way down when you don't make contact. There's the follow-up from Seabass, and Vince gets in on the savior action. Back the other way it goes. Final minute of game number 2. And Seabass, he's given that one away to Halcyon. It looks like Allegiance want to break out a little sooner than they were in the first game. But again, the defense of Memory pressuring them is not letting them get out as quickly as they want to.
Yeah, Allegiance is getting stuck literally inside of their own net. The pressure is so far up the field from Space Station right now that they are struggling to clear the ball out, and it's not letting anyone, not even the people on the goal line or out on the wings, move up the field when the ball is finally cleared.
Vince has that one kick up and away, looking to snipe the corner.
Oh my
God! And he
God!
has, because he falls on top of it. If at first you don't succeed, fall on it.
What a shot from Vince, the solo effort. He follows up. First of all, that angle is so close to going in, but then he falls right on top of it. The defender could do nothing about it, and Space Station, with 10 seconds left, get the lead.
All Vince has done in his entire Rocket League Championship Series career is score clutch goals. None may be more clutch than that, because it gives Space Station a real chance now to get a sweep here in week 5, but they have to kill this off to take a 2-0 lead, and who else but Vince to get the final touch. Space Station are 1 win away from ensuring that they'll be back for Season 3 of the Rival Series.
And what's funny about this series is that Allegiance has a lot going for them. All the pressure is on Space Station right now, and Allegiance isn't even making them sweat. They're not making them think about it. Imagine if the series was tied up right now. The pressure on Space Station only grows every game they drop, because they have to win this series. And right now, Space Station is walking in and walking out with W's left and right.
It's amazing that Aleutian can score 500 points. We saw Chicago for Dignitas do that against Space Station a while back and really carry the team that way. Aleutian drops 500, and it's like, well, congrats, but now you're down 0-2. So I think it's fantastic what Vince and Memory have been able to do. Halcyon is in the right place at the right time for Space Station Gaming. And again, you know, what do they have? 14 shots in Game 1. They've got another 13 here in Game 2. Look, the answer is simple for Allegiance, but it's easier said than done. Don't let them shoot, as you said earlier, Corelli, but now they've only got 5 minutes to figure out how to stop them from taking all these shots.
And some of the goals that were going in for Memory, especially his 2 goals that he scored, were very weak goals. It was Aleutian bumping his own teammate out. It was discombobulation in the backfield for Allegiance, and these goals are really not well earned. The Vince goal is very well earned, but for a lot of the goals, especially in that last game for Memory, were just defensive mishaps for Allegiance.
And here is Memory. Hauled on the defensive end. Halcyon looking downfield towards Vince, but Vince had to rotate back. That is how we start game number 3. Again, the task for Space Station is very simple. Any win gets them into 3rd place. Any loss, and they are at the mercy of Dignitas and Splice coming up after this. Vince has that one kick out towards Aleutian. Here's Memory, the man of the hour. He's going to give it up to Vince this time. Where's Halcyon? They don't need him. Vince is there, and it's an early lead.
What a goal. What a play here. You see Memory drop it off to Vince. Vince finding the backboard, beating that last defender. He sees nobody's in net, and he can get the second touch. It's a beautiful goal from Vince, and he gives his team the lead. 1 more game for Space Station, and they're into the top 4.
It only took 33 seconds. Now how does Allegiance answer? Vince will just clear this away right at Ty-Not Tyler, but the passing not really there for Allegiance. It does feel at times, Corelli, like they're just kind of throwing the ball around in the zone towards a general direction, hoping a teammate's there rather than making a more intentional passing play. Now Aleutian. He's going to have plenty of time to work with here, and he can find Ty-Not Tyler. He's got him downfield, and the shot's going to be a little wide. So Halcyon sends it back downfield, and the redirect from Vince just a little wide. This will kick off the corner unless Ty gets there, and he does. Big redirect is going to be wide, but now you're seeing Allegiance working a little more intentionally in the offensive zone. This can only bode well for them. They need Ty-Not Tyler on the left side, and that's not a lot of power, so Vince has an easy save.
And Allegiance, good attack from them, but not too scary. Again, making Space Station sweat, not so much. And Space Station, it's too easy for them to get out of their own half right now.
Vince now coming on, another double touch. He's had plenty of them. Memory looking to challenge the clear, but it goes underneath him. Clever play from Ty-Not Tyler. And it lets Aleutian try to get something set up here. He's also taken out Memory on the other side. Aleutian doing all he can to try and move forward, but he's not going to be able to. And so the attack stalls for Allegiance, despite the demo, not able to take advantage.
Yeah, Aleutian landing there with no momentum, not able to get moving forward there. And unfortunately for Allegiance, a lot of their attacks have struggled because of this, using all their boots just to get to the midfield, and then they're left with nothing.
Another interested party in this match, of course, is the Dignitas team that's coming up, because that if Space Station wins here, they know there's only one team left that they can pass, and they're going to have a very narrow window of opportunity. Coming up on halftime now of game number 3. Lucian has this down off the backboard, and again cleared away by Halcyon. He's not getting, a lot of goals, assists, or actual saves, but Halcyon probably has just as many quality clears for the Space Station team.
Nice demo.
Plenty of demos, and finally something had to give. It is Seabass who ties the game.
And it takes 2 demos coming out, or excuse me, 1 demo from Allegiance, one of their players getting demoed, but Tyler linking up here with Seabass, firing off on the open net here. Allegiance tying up the game. Space Station, who have controlled most of the game, have only gotten 1 goal. So for Allegiance, getting this goal back is huge for them.
Lucian backboard for Tyler. That got through after the miss from memory. We have seen a few more misses than usual over the last game and a half now from memory. But again, he's been at the top of the leaderboard, so who are you to argue with the results? It's going to be off the backboard here. Kicks up and away. I don't think Seabass was necessarily expecting that. And memory will have this clear. He teams up with Halcyon. Might not have been intended, but it may work out. This gets through. Did Vince even touch this on its way through?
Absolutely, it came off of Vince. In the end, he goes backwards into a half flip, comes back around, and then just taps it into the defense. Actually, Seabass bounces it off his own teammate there, and it ricochets into the net, and Space Station find the lead with 1.5 minutes.
It really looked like they were gearing up for a boomer of a shot from Vince, and he just pulled the string on him, made him look silly, and results ultimately in kind of an own goal here. So now, the lead for Space Station Gaming with 1:20 remaining. And it's Halcyon. That's going to be stopped by Ty. Nobody at the net, so Seabass has to challenge this. Very important challenge to keep Allegiance in this game. Memory gives way to Halcyon. Big drive over the defense, and the lead is 2.
Great placement here from Halcyon. You said not so much coming from Halcyon on the offensive side, a lot of clears, but he finds one here. It's his first goal of this game, and he gives his team a 2-goal lead. Now, not impossible for Allegiance to come back, but when you think about it, Stacks, Allegiance don't really care about this series. They're locked into top 2, and they might just let Space Station walk away with this series.
That is what it has looked like at times for Allegiance. They haven't come at this with the same intensity, certainly, of a series. As Halcyon, that's going to be on an empty net, and now I think the writing is on the wall. Allegiance are reading that writing, and they're like, well, we tried.
And this is great for Space Station. This is exactly what they needed. It was win and get in for them. They come out and they're going to get a 3-0 sweep over Allegiance. They secure their top 4 spot, and they come back for another season's rival series without having to play through the play-ins.
Yeah, and more importantly now, it really messes things up for teams like Dignitas and, well, really just Dignitas and the Dudes, because Splice was already out of the equation. But it will set up a very interesting scenario that we'll recap a lot moving forward. But for now, it is Space Station Gaming, a season that certainly had top 2 expectations for them. They will fall short of that mark here, but still 3rd place. Got to feel really good to know you don't have to go through the war zone that is the play-in process, and you know you're coming back for Season 3 of the Rival Series. 7 seconds remain. See if there is one last highlight reel play for either Allegiance or Space Station Gaming. Does not look like there will be. It has been a dominant performance for Space Station. They definitely saved their best for last when they needed it most. And we will see Space Station Gaming back for next season.